We're here to discuss a monumental national achievement. From the instant the coronavirus invaded our shores, we raced into action to develop a safe and effective vaccine at breakneck speed. We're just days away from authorization from the FDA, at which point we will immediately begin mass distribution. As a result of this unprecedented investment, we are exceedingly proud that both Pfizer and Moderna have announced that their vaccines are approximately 95% effective. Despite the grim projections from the media 8 months ago, we did something that nobody thought was possible. They said it will never happen. You could never do it. It was a pipe dream. In just a few minutes, I'll sign an executive order to ensure that American citizens have first priority to receive American vaccines. We will soon end the pandemic, and we will save millions and millions of lives.
And look, I guess in a certain way, I'm the father of the vaccine because I was the one that pushed it.
So let's come back to America and talk about the vax. So yesterday in Sunrise, Fort Lauderdale, you told the crowd, big crowd there, just like here, you told them that you gathered all the heads of the pharmaceutical companies together, okay? And you told them if they developed a vaccine, that they would get government contracts worth billions of dollars, right?
That's right.
Okay, so why was your administration able to do this in 7 months? China was not able to do it. Russia was not able to do it. Why was America able to do it?
And to this day, they haven't been able to do it, the other countries, and the vaccines they have are terrible. So I was very tough on the FDA, who was totally bureaucratic and slow as hell. Very, very tough. In fact, we got the approval of medicine. You know, it takes years. It took 12 years. We got it cut in half, and it's going to be less than that. It should be much less than that. But the FDA, I was brutal in them because they said it was going to take from 5 to 12 years to have a vaccine. And your favorite person in the whole world, Fauci, said... He said it wouldn't be done in time, so he wasn't a big proponent of it. I got it done. Bill said 7 months. It's 9 months, and it could have been actually 7, depending on the way. So I got it done, let's say, in less than 9 months. Something that should have taken 5, or would have taken any normal person, okay, 5 to 12 years. Now, I'm very proud of that, and it saved millions and millions of lives all over the world. All over the world. We got something done. But Bill's question is, how did they get it done so fast? We helped them monetarily, which because of the kind of numbers you're talking about. And very importantly, I ordered billions of dollars of the vaccine because it takes about a year to make. So if you don't order it, you still wouldn't have your shots, those of you that have shots. And no mandates and no everything, by the way. But those of you, you don't need them. You don't need them. And how they don't include people that had it and recovered is crazy, because that's a very good form of vaccination, I guess you could say. So I was very, very strong in that, but we did something that nobody thought. It was like a big bet.
It's like a miracle.
It was like a big bet, because if I didn't buy billions, it was $12 billion. If we didn't buy billions of dollars of that vaccine, we waited until the final day and the final test, and then you ordered, you would have had to wait a year. So you would have just about now been started with the vaccine. It was just, so I think it was one of the greatest bets in world history, because that vaccine, or the 3 vaccines, have gone all over the world and saved millions and millions.
Did the CEO of Pfizer hold you by not making the announcement before the vote?
Yeah, well, they hated me so much because I was nasty to them, because you had to be. It wasn't a question. You know, they're tough cookies. They're into their stock price. They're into a lot of things. They've all done very well because of the fact they wouldn't have done well if it didn't happen. But we came up with 3 great vaccines. And by the way, Regeneron and other things. We've done, you know, therapeutics. And now we have pills we think are coming out through my administration. I'm the one that did it. This guy didn't do it. I don't know anything. When he was, remember he was reading a speech and it was like into February, and he says, when I get a vaccine, he already got it. He got it on December 11th, right? So he got the vaccine, and he said, I don't know if I take the vaccine. They said, sir, you've gotten it already. Oh, I see. There's something going on. I don't know what the hell is going on, but there's something going on. But he already got it, and he was wise to get it, in all fairness. It was the right thing to do. But, you know, the interesting thing is, when I did it, we had great credibility. There was no talk about a mandate. There was no talk about people not taking the vaccine. They hurt the vaccine so badly because what they did is during the election process, they said, if Trump was involved, I will not take the vaccine. Well, he was very early to take it. And she said that too, our great vice president. Is she doing a great job? She's doing a great job with the border. Is she doing a good job with the border? Millions of people are flying in from America. Doing a great job. So those two were knocking the hell out of it. After the election, they started talking positively about it, and people didn't believe it. And just one final thing, when they did the pause on Johnson & Johnson, that was really bad, because people started saying, oh, it was over 6 people that lived. 6 people had a problem, and it was the 6 people, and there are millions and millions of people that got it. It was 6 people, and they did a pause. That was a very bad thing to do, but we're very proud of it. It's an incredible thing, and it saved millions and millions of people throughout the world.
So here's the question of the hour. Why didn't you fire Fauci?
If you remember, at the time, he wasn't like the big deal that he is now. He wasn't. And everything he did, I did the opposite, because he didn't want us to close our country to China, which was heavily infected. He didn't want us to close our country to Europe. I looked at Italy, I looked at France, I looked at Spain, I looked at these countries that were being ravaged. I closed it very, very early. Saved hundreds of thousands of lives. He was the first to say that, by the way. And he didn't want people to wear masks. Do you remember when he said, no, masks are no good, don't wear masks, it's a waste of time, they're not healthy, they're not good. And now he's a radical masker. You have to wear 7 masks, 8 masks, put them over your ears, put them over everything. So, you know, he changed. But I did think from a political standpoint, if I did it, because you already had a large group of people out there that are on the, let's say, the other side, and if I did it, it would be a big stir. And he was a great promoter, not a good doctor, but he was a great promoter. Remember, he said he was a great athlete, and then I saw him throw the baseball at the Washington. He threw it. The ball, it's the worst throw I think I've ever seen. Obama's was bad, I will say. It was bad.
Okay, so you didn't fire him because you knew there would be a firestorm.
We had enough storms, and we were in the middle of a big pandemic, and I didn't think it would be very helpful to do that. But and again, he wasn't the factor that he is now. Now, you know, they've really put him in charge of a lot of things.
It doesn't seem like anybody ever pays for the corruption.
Yeah.
And right now we're seeing corruption live, even in terms of big pharma, which is a huge topic on the minds of mothers, especially. You're seeing what's happening at these school board meetings. Where do you stand on these vaccine mandates? And obviously, I know that you are pro-vaccine. Obviously, you did everything you could to get this vaccine out. I know where you stand on the vaccine.
It was one of the greatest achievements. We did it in less than 9 months.
And to be able to do that.
Yeah,
but now it's taken a twist, right? It's gotten, now we went from, this is a good thing and people should have this option, to military men, you're going to have to resign because you're not getting this vaccine. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand on, forget about the mandates, that people have to have their freedom, but at the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had in 1917, remember the Spanish flu, killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers were so, a lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines. There was no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are questioning how...
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.